Lesson 8-4. In this lesson, you learn to express percents as fractions and vice versa. When are you ever going to use this? Knowing how to express a number in a different form can help you interpret a monthly budget. So the word that we are going to define will be percent. Okay? Did you know that the word pasta is an Italian term meaning dough? Pasta comes in more than 100 shapes and sizes. What is your favorite type of pasta? Spaghetti, ravioli, vermicelli, or possibly gnocchi? According to the results of the survey, 10% of the people eat lasagna at least once every 2 weeks. So this is your survey. Okay, spaghetti 48%, macaroni and cheese 34%, 15% for noodles, and 10% for lasagna for popular pastas. Okay, uh, before we answer the question, which is okay, according to the survey, 10% of the people eat lasagna in every 2 weeks. Well, actually, there's no question. Okay, let's define okay what a percent is. A percent is a ratio that compares a number to 100. Remember what the ratio is? A ratio of comparison of two numbers by division. And a percent is simply a ratio, different type of ratio, wherein it compares that number to 100, meaning the denominator is always 100 in a percent. So all of the percents in the graph can be expressed as fractions, and to express as a percent as a fraction, follow these steps. And these are the steps to make a percent as a fraction. First step is to express the percent as a fraction with a denominator of 100. Then second step is simply to simplify. So let's express each percent as a fraction in simplest form. Example number 1, sorry. So 28% means 28 out of 100. So 28% is equal to 28 over 100. So we want to express the percent as a fraction with a denominator of 100. And then we simplify, 28 over 100. Okay, and the GCF of 28 over 100 is 4. So we divide 28 by 4, 100 by 4. Or, okay, if you don't readily know it, okay, we simply do this. 28 over 100, and remember we did this in the past. Prime factors of 28 are 2 times 2 times 7. Prime factors of 100 would be 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Okay, so again we simplify this. Okay, cross cancel our common factors, and you end up with 7 over 25. Okay, because the GCF would be 4. Okay, and that would be 7 over 5 in simplest form. Okay, now if you draw this out, 28% 20 is 28 out of 100. So we make a chart of 100 cubes in 1 unit and shade 28. That's how 28% actually looks like. Okay, and if you take a look at example number 2, okay, 118% means 118 out of 100. So if you look at this, okay, create a model of 118%. Okay, you have 100 shaded and another 18 shaded on the other unit. Okay, and that's 118%. So we want to express the percent as a fraction with a denominator of 100. So 118% simply means 118 over 100. Then we simplify, okay, using the method that I showed you in example 1. Okay, 118 over 100 is the same as 1 and 18 over 100, or 1 and 9 over 50. Okay, using the method, using the prime factorization method. Okay, let's take a look at example number 3. And in example number 3, Refer to the graph. What fraction of teenage boys always or often use sunscreen before going out into the sun? So this is our graph. It's a bar, a pictograph actually. So you have 36% of boys, rarely, never, okay, uses sunscreen, okay, 34% sometimes, and 30% always and often. We won't bother ourselves with girls because that's not, okay, part of the question. It's just asking what fraction of teenage boys, okay. So always says there, often use, okay, which means we are going to look at this particular part of the graph, okay, which is 30%. Okay, after looking at that from the graph, you can see that 30% of teenage boys use sunscreen before going into the sun. So we want to express 30%, okay, into a fraction with a denominator of 100. So that becomes 30 over 100, and simplify that, that becomes 3 over 10. An easier way to simplify this without using prime factorization, okay, will be, since both numbers end in 0, start canceling the zeros from the very right. So that 0 cancels out, and you also cancel out a 0 from 30. And if you notice, if you cancel out both zeros, you end up with 3 over 10. So 3/10 of teenage boys always or often use sunscreen. Take a look at example number 4. Okay, to express a fraction as a percent, write a proportion and then solve it. We want to express 1/5 now into a percent. We go the opposite way. Remember in example, the previous examples, we expressed a percent into a fraction. Now we want to express a fraction as a percent. Okay, again, as a percent means denominator of 100, so we create a proportion for it. So 1/5 is equal to n over 100, because we want to find out the number that will make 1/5 into a percent. And since percent is always 100, the denominator 100 is there. So we use our knowledge of cross products. We end up with 1 times 100 is equal to 5 times n, or 100 equals 5n. And then we solve for n by simply dividing both sides by 5. Dividing both sides by 5, we end up with n equals 20. So 1/5 is equivalent to 20%. Okay? We want to express 9/4 as a percent in example number 5. Again, we do the same thing. Okay? 9 over 4 is equal to c over 100. And then we do our cross products. 9 times 100 equals 4 times c, or 900 equals 4c. We again divide both sides by 4 to be able to solve for c. We end up with c equals 225. So 9/4 is equivalent to 225%. Okay? And the secret word for this particular lesson would be rivers. The secret word is rivers. Thank you for watching.